Nintendo Switch 2 is about 2 weeks, give or take, from launching. That is something I'm very excited about. I did my pre-order when the game was first released in the United States for pre-order on April 24th, and that was pretty clutch because a lot of people's orders got canceled, so I thought that, I was going to be out of luck, but I got pretty lucky, so you love to see it. A lot of the Switch 1 games, as you know, are getting some free upgrades, as well as some are getting paid upgrades, which, a lot of people are conflicted about that, especially with the total price of Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition with the DLC is going to be about $90 in total, which is just ridiculous. I will say though, guys, it is really easy to find the Switch 1 edition of Breath of the Wild for a cheaper price and then just buy the DLC and upgrade pack. It's like so much cheaper. But today I kind of just wanted to look at the free updates for Switch games because I will admit I looked at most of this earlier, but I felt compelled to talk about this. Now, I was never a big ARMS fan. I feel like ARMS was like Nintendo's attempt at striking it lucky again with like a popular franchise. You remember how they did Splatoon on the Wii U and everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Personally, I'm not a big Splatoon fan. No offense to any Splatooners. It just never really appealed to me that much. But yeah, ARMS is getting some, visual upgrades, frame rate. This is the frame rate is something that I really want in most Switch 1 upgrades. If there's not a frame rate update, it's not the end of the world, but some games really need it. I've never even played Big Brain Academy. Captain Toad, this is a game that I've played once before. Improved visuals, HDR, really can't complain. The frame rate is already fine in this game, in my opinion. I think it ran at maybe 60. If it ran at 30, I couldn't really tell. My eyes aren't trained as well. I didn't really see the difference between Breath of the Wild Switch and Breath of the Wild Switch 2 until I watched the Switch 2 Direct, and then they showed Breath of the Wild footage, and I was like, what the heck, man. Bros U Deluxe, improved visuals, so no frame rate improvements. Not really necessary with this game. Quite honestly, it runs pretty good on Switch. It's really simplistic. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. These two, I feel like a huge problem with these two on the Switch 1, as most people will say, is the frame rate. Frame rate was just really inconsistent. It lagged a whole lot. The visuals, definitely not ideal. It kind of looked like the game was made in 2015, which certainly may not be a bad thing, but considering, that was 10 years ago, let's get with the times, Nintendo. Even though I'm not a Pokemon fan, I do remember seeing footage of this game and thinking, that's horrible. So the fact that we're getting better visuals and the frame rate is going to be crisp, you really love to see it. And weirdly enough, this upgrade right here, out of all the free updates, may be the one I'm most excited for. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. The reason why is I played this game when it first came out, and I loved it. It was such a great game. However, as we all know, the Switch tends to have trouble running certain things. It's rather inconsistent when it comes to frame rate. That's a very common theme. In this game, whenever the giant Bowser is on screen, that really intimidating looking Bowser, the game lags. It's really laggy. Like the frame rate goes from maybe I think the original frame rate's 30, so it definitely falters it definitely goes down to at least 20. It was definitely noticeable for me. It didn't ruin the game. It was just really cool having Bowser in there. In fact, it was playing it almost felt like I understood why the Switch was lagging. I was like, well, no wonder the game's lagging. Bowser's so scary. Oh, it's part of the experience. No, it's not supposed to do that. So to see that this update is coming and it's going to be crisp with HDR support for Bowser's Fury, I'm very excited for it. Mario Odyssey, this is one of my favorite games of all time. Probably my favorite game on this entire list. No frame rate improvements, but I don't really think it needs it. It would have been cool to see it running a little bit more crisp, but I can't really think of any moments in the game in which I had any complaints about the frame rate. So to see that we're getting HDR and good visuals, honestly, I think that's all we need for this. I've beaten the main story 3 times. I've 100%ed it twice, but my most recent playthrough was 2.5-3 years ago. So I'm really looking forward to diving back into Super Mario Odyssey. Echoes of Wisdom, I just beat this when it came out. Visuals, HDR support, basically, pretty low tier, as well as Link's Awakening. These both are getting the same types of updates. I loved Echoes of Wisdom. Not my favorite 2D Zelda, but considering it's the first game in the franchise with Zelda as the protagonist, I thought it was really fun. So I'm really excited to play that game again. The dungeons in this game, by the way, fantastic. Music, fantastic. I did miss having a sword at all times, but at least they kind of gave you a way to take the sword out at most times, so that's kind of cool. Here I am doing a game review. I'm supposed to be talking about the Switch 2 version. There's not much to talk about, but the game itself is fantastic. Anyway, I just thought I'd get my thoughts out real quick. I just thought that this was a really sick development. Nintendo previously did not tell us exactly what they were going to do with these games. They just kind of told us that these were the games getting the upgrades. Obviously, I will be playing Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions. Thank y'all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day, and have a good one.